So I wanted to do a quick video on how to arrange your beats inside of the MPC and standalone in 3.0 and above. This video can be applied to any MPC that you want. I happen to be using the MPC X SE because it has that luxurious 10-inch screen, but all these tips can be used on any of your MPCs out there. Trust me, the OS is the same on all of them. And if you need any further tips, then you can check us out at 16levels.com. I have masterclasses for all the MPCs. I do not have a masterclass for 3.0 for the MPC Key 61 because I don't own it anymore. But I also have private lessons as well. Also, I'm selling this MPC right here that I'm using in this video. I have it linked in the description box. It's in great shape. And yeah, no particular reason, not because there's a new MPC coming. This is how the arranger works. So every sequence has its own arranger, its own specific arranger for whatever track that you do on that particular sequence. So this is sequence 1 right now. So that is my whole entire beat right now. I have done nothing to it. So in order to get access to that, you can simply do one or two things. You can go into here, which is the arrangement, and then you can go to the arranger like that. We're gonna hit the main button and just bring it back to the very beginning. And you can press menu and then choose arrange. And then you have the arranger right in front of you. Now, to show proof of concept that every single sequence has an arranger, we'll go back to the main. So hit the main button on your MPC. And now we'll just go to sequence 2, right? And then once we go to sequence 2, we just go right back into the arranger. And you can see there's nothing on that. It works individually, and you can also merge your other sequences within one arranger, which we'll talk about another time. I think a good rule of thumb to go by before you even dive into working with the arranger, I would say you would press this pencil sign over here, copy sequence. And then I would just make a copy of this main sequence that isn't looped or anything or edited, and then deposit it. Or you could just name the main track main and then just make a copy of it to work with and just call it full beat. That's a good idea. Matter of fact, let's do that. We'll call this full beat and then we'll work from there. And then your second sequence will be for your full beat. If you go inside of the menu and the arranger, you'll see that it'll be right there and you can edit it. Now let's go ahead and go back into the arrangement. So I hit menu and not browse. And now you can see the arrangement right in front of you. So what I wanted to show you is primary functions. It's possible to record in this arranger right here the same way that you would the other way on the main screen. Matter of fact, it's not even that difficult to do. If you simply wanted to add a track, you hit that plus sign and then you can add audio, drums, plugins, key groups, MIDI, CV. Simple as that. Or you can just go back to how you want to record. Also, this right here looks very familiar because it is a loop point, similar to like all the other DAWs. I'll just say like Ableton or Cubase. That's the main thing that you want to look at this. So when you set this cue point, it will record from right there or play from right there. So if I was to move it to the very front and I have it set to 2 bars, then you see it starts to play from there and it will loop if I wanted to loop. You can also, let me go here and then you can press, well, you don't have to press the whole shift. You can just turn loop off and you can, let it play from wherever. But, I just keep loop on because it just makes sense for this demonstration. And if you do press shift, then you can set different markers too. So you got marker 1. Let's go over here, set another marker. And when you're using your locators or you're setting your locators, tapping on the screen, pressing and holding shift on your MPC will allow you to access those locators. So that keeps everything kind of neat and organized. It's also important that you check out the cue links on your MPC so you can see how it works in terms of like if you want to mess with the vertical view or the horizontal view, the playhead, and whatever else, so you can have a nicer experience. The other thing that I want to point out is that you do have cogwheel options. You can set it to where it follows. So if you had it stretched out, like if you had a big horizontal, and right now it's already stretched out, it will follow all the way through. I'm not gonna lie to you, having this big 10-inch screen makes everything a whole lot better, easier, and functional, because of course, you know, you can adjust your screen and stuff like that. The edit button right on the top right side of the screen, it will bring you into your sequencer choices like erase, clear, trim, transpose, delete bar, insert bar, half length, double length, copy sequence, copy bars, copy events. Now, I'm not going to overload you, but one of the things that we need to do is make this loop here, which I believe is an 8-bar loop, respectfully. And we need to go ahead and make it into an entire song. So theoretically, you would go into edit, and then you could just double length. So we're going to continue to double length. It's at 16 bars now. And then double length again, 32. And if we want to go ahead and do the whole full 64 bars, we can do that. What I'm going to go ahead and do, we're not going to do 64 bars. And trust me, you'll love me for this, because when you are editing this, we're going to do copy and paste, which we're not up to right now. So what we're working with now is the 32 bars. If you want to see those 32 bars real quick, you can use, again, your Q links to adjust the length. And now we can scroll, horizontal zoom. We can really get into detail with it. And then we can make the distinctions from there. So it's at 32 bars, so we need to set up this right here, which you can also adjust the loop in and loop start from your Q links. So in theory, when you're making your beat, we already know the first thing that you want to do is your intro. So I'm just going to keep it simple and not do too much. So what I'm going to do is just increase the vertical zoom so I can see everything. That's the incredible side of this. And I am going to make sure that I'm deleting the right things. So the first thing you want to get affirmated with is this erase button. It's on every one of your MPCs. You finally get a use for it. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is delete that first bar. And then I'm going to continue to the process. Now you can only erase if you stop the track, and then boom. And then now we have an intro. So what I want to do, it does start off with some more stuff. I can go ahead and slide this over. Maybe I should have made this 8 bars, but I'm going to go ahead and delete it. And now we have an intro that we can work with. We can just listen to it and all that other stuff. But what I'm going to go ahead and do is just carve out some of the things in the first verse here. So I know I don't want everything in here. What I'm going to do is erase the 808s and stuff like that. It is important that you name certain tracks and stuff like that, so you don't get lost in the sauce of your work. And how you could do that is simply by dragging this over, and then we can go into channel mixer. Then we press and hold on one of the tracks, or just tap on the track really, and we can just name it bass. So if you have to reorganize or you want to make sure that everything is fine, then you can just go ahead and just type it on out. And then we can just revisit everything right back into the arranger. Simple as that. So we already have our first verse. Now, one of the things that you guys, especially us old school MPC heads, what bothers us about this new screen is, we like using our track mutes and stuff like that. And I'm going to be real. The track mutes don't feel exactly the same way in 3.0 yet. But what I have found to be very interesting is that you can edit stuff like this because you have your access to your piano roll on your arranger, making everything easier. Let's say we want some stops in there. Like I want that bar to be stopped. I'll simply just stretch this out. Let's go ahead and do it on the screen. You could use pull and pitch gestures. So this part right here, I can just go ahead and erase like some parts of these drums. I might even want to be particular about it. So you just use your icons similar to how you would in the grid. And you can just be creative with it. You can just press shift. You can choose to delete. Boom. You can also duplicate and stuff like that too. So this is what we got so far. These chops right here in particular, I don't want those in there. The same process. I mean, you always use the erase, but I just like to use the selection tool because it's a little bit more accurate for me. But you can always use the erase. But I'll just go ahead and press shift, cut. Well, I'll just choose delete. Boom. And then we have some more stuff. The biggest question that everybody has once you're working inside of the arranger is, how would I go ahead and just copy that over? You know what I'm saying? Just simple as that, like you would in song mode. Well, it's simple. All you have to do is just stretch this. So we're going to go ahead and move this loop over from the loop start to the loop start. Boom, right here. Simple as that. And now what we'll do is go into edit. And then we'll choose copy bars. So once we choose copy bars, it'll tell us from bar number 9 to the 32nd bar. And then under here it says sequence 1. And then if I want to copy something over, I want to copy it over after the 32nd bar. And then we can choose how many copies we want. So if we technically want to have like 3 verses or whatever, and the hook repeat like 3 times, you simply just have 2 copies of it. But we're going to go with 1 copy. So that will make it a total of 64 bars. You can choose to replace, or you can choose to merge. We'll just go ahead and do replace. Boom. And if we want to see how everything looks, now we have a whole entire song done that quick. Now the next thing is, like, people will probably be like, well, shoot, what if I want to do like hooks and stuff like that? Well, it's simple. Like, you would just go to the particular bar that you want. So let's say I want to go on these bars right over here. I'm on the Q links right now, and that makes it a whole lot easier, you know, so you can move it. You can always use your gesture on the screen because it is a touch screen. But if I wanted to work from right here and change some stuff in a verse to like how I want it to sound right now, then I could. And if I wanted to record something in there, you could. Like maybe you just want to put in like some type of sound. Now I created a new track, choose the plugin. I can choose which plugin I want to work with. Fabric Excel, any of the good old stuff. They got a whole bunch of dope stuff now. Choose Mini D, then I can record something in. So hit the main button. We can go back to the main screen. Everything will be right there. And I can choose a sound from the screen. I can also look at the UI of whatever plugin that I'm in right now. Boy, selling this is gonna hurt. And after you're done picking everything and, you know, making micro adjustments, you can go right back into your arranger, or you can stay on this screen and record it. But I'm gonna go back to the arrangers because we want to see it, right? So record and play start, and then just add the sound in. Let's do it. It in. Simple as that. And if you want to change any of your chops or anything like that, just for those bars or whatnot, like I have these chops. Let's go over here. These sample chops. I mean, let's go ahead and change that up. And record and play start will record over whatever you have right there. And if you want to add stuff but keep what your same recording, you would have to do overdub and play start. All right, just remember that. And in any course of action, you can always change that, however you want. And if you want to get a full view of whatever you've done, well, as simple as hitting this right over here at the side. I don't know what it is, a small cube. I call it the hamburger menu for whatever this is, this arranger. I know that one of the biggest questions that will be in the comment section will be, well, I have my drums in a program or a track or whatnot. So this is the drum track. And if you have all your drums in a track and you want to split them up, it's as simple as you just going over here into your main screen, boom, hit that pencil sign right there, and then go over to explode track. And then it'll explode all these damn tracks. And now you can work with every individual drum the same way you would normally in a DAW or whatnot. So a prime example of that, just go over here to main, or actually hit the menu button. And when you go over here, now you have all these tracks that are just the drums. You see? It'll be just the drums, and then you can edit your drums the way you want that way. So let me know what you want to learn next, because I got so much to teach you guys. And, hey, it's been a minute. I know this month has been hella slow for content on this channel, but yeah. I got some things to talk about, and I'm pretty sure y'all want to hear my opinion on it, and of course more lessons as well.